She still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Whaley is furious.
She's upset. But 100%.
Orange and blue skies, baby. Welcome on into a brand new edition of Axe Cake Picks, episode 99. Tonight is Sunday, April the 28th, 2024, and I am in a fantastic mood, Elvis. Joey, how the hell you doing, kid?
I'm living just as good, yo. It's a blue and orange kind of day. You know what I'm talking about?
Blue and orange, kid. Are you under the weather?
No, I'm sweating. I've hit the bag a little bit, hopped in the sauna, going to the gym.
You feeling like Mike Perry, huh?
Yeah. Let's not bury the lead now.
Yeah, shout out Mike Perry, man. He gets it done within the first minute and 10 seconds of Knuckle Mania. I mean, it was fantastic. We'll talk about that real quick. With UFC Vegas 91. We got some MMA news towards the end of the show, and then Joey will get us out of here with some 10 seconds left. But yeah, Joe, Mike Perry now 5-0 in BKFC. He was just 7-8 in the UFC. Was always kind of up and down kind of guy, but man, he sure has found his home.
Oh man, he is the king of violence for a reason, my boy. And man, a lot of wacky finishes, but I mean, he just put a stamp on his legacy already. Like you said, undefeated so far in his career in bare knuckle fighting, and I mean, he's the face of the organization. Now you got Conor McGregor being a partner with them. So, I mean, the sky's the limit for the promotion, and Mike Perry is going to lead the charge. I mean, whoever they have him go up against is going to have their absolute hands full with the likes of Platinum Mike Perry, because he's the dog. He says it. I mean, he's excited to get hit in the face. That's the last thing you want with bare knuckle. You don't want to get hit in the face. You saw him take that cut. He's like, I didn't even feel it. And he just put the lights out. Mergliot, I think, let Thiago get up and, see if he can, get, his bearings straight. But nah, man, he was rocked. He was wobbled. The 2 consecutive left hooks. That last one, the end of show, was kind of like a shovel left. It just got right under the guard. And the guard is so small as is with, not even 4-ounce gloves. It's bare. So, yeah, you could find a hole in the defense anywhere in this style of fighting. And, yeah, man, he said it. He said, let's, that was my strategy all along. I posted that up. I was like, I had to shout out the OG. I had to shout out Brian Shosha. These guys were covering the event, and they asked Mike, they were like, yo, so are you guys going to, are you going to throw strategy out the window and just stand in the middle and bang? He goes, that was my strategy all along.
The best strategy of all. And like you said, no one really wants to stand there and bang with him. I felt like after the second left hook, Thiago Alves was kind of like, yeah, no, I'm good on this. I mean, and that's kind of like the theme. Besides MVP, I feel like most of the guys kind of just, when they feel the power of Mike Perry, they go, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
And when you register some shots to him and he's still there, that just discourages you. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's scary. And you're like, I don't know how much more I can take. I surely think this guy could take a whole lot more than I can. And it just gets in your head.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the ref, because I agree. I thought he was a little lenient too. I thought he gave Alves enough chances to actually continue the fight, but once he was wobbling and asked him to walk towards him and he couldn't, it was over. He was seeing stars. He never recovered from that. So, yeah, he gets it done. I'm so happy for him, not forget the financial freedom for him and his family, but, finding a home. And I think it's going to moving forward. I think it's going to be hard to find this guy like opponents. I mean, what this guy is doing to his opponents inside, I don't want to say octagon, but cage, ring, whatever.
Square, not the
square. It's insane because, I know he called out Darren Till. I think that's the fight to make. I think he has to stop being a bitch. They've been talking about fighting for a while now.
We got history too, so there's story behind it.
I don't care if it's in the States or if it's England. It doesn't really matter. That I feel like that's the fight that needs to happen next.
Bro, they could throw the co-main event heavyweight champ on that. Mick Terrell, he's an English guy. And, have Darren Till. He'll sell, put it in Liverpool or something like that. Have the Scouser show out. You know what I mean? Like, they'll sell tickets. I think BKFC now with Conor as partnered, as I mentioned, bro, like I said, the sky's the limit. I think anywhere they go, and they're looking to expand their territories. They're going to be in the Northeast at the Mohegan Sun. I think we're trying to go to that. So, yeah, they're steadily expanding. They're getting more and more stars. And some guys aren't even, coming out like veterans of the UFC. They're literally just going right into the sport. So they're making a name for themselves inside BKFC.
Why doesn't Darren Till want to fight him, you think?
I don't know. Why does a lot of people want to fight him?
I don't know. I mean,
said it?
not a lot of people, but I feel like the people that are signing up are kind of game. They're not really playing any bullshit. Luke Rockhold, MVP. These guys are
these
coming
are
in.
savages.
Yeah, they're coming in at least making the walk. I feel like Darren Till is not scared, but there's something holding Darren Till back. I don't know if he wants to get like a bare knuckle fight in to see how it goes before he steps in the circle square with Mike Perry. But
Maybe just a boxing match with the gloves. I mean, he's he's got a lot of Muay Thai fights under his belt. I'm pretty sure he's got some kickboxing as well. So maybe something with like the smaller gloves. But then again, you don't want to take that much damage either. I think sometimes it could be it could work against you. It could come counterintuitive to say, oh, I want to fight one bare knuckle fight before fighting Mike Perry. That might be a recipe for disaster. You're going to take that bare knuckle to the face. It's just damage you're going to take, and then you got to go and fight Platinum Mike Perry.
Now, he did mention something about East Coast, West Coast, about Nate Diaz. Obviously, the whole thing with Jorge Masvidal, he's fighting coming up. Any truth to that? And do you like that fight for Mike Perry and Nate?
I mean, it could happen. Nate is a dog, bro. I'll be honest with you. With Connor, I
he was there too.
I know, bro. And he wore one of the sickest tops I've seen. It was Bruce Lee throwing a kick at Muhammad Ali, ducking back. That was sick, bro. So if we could, I mean, what about down the line if, Connor retires in the UFC? We get Nate versus Connor 3 in the bare knuckle ring. That's how they end out their trilogy. You know what I mean? Fighting at their natural weights, and they'll have a stand-up fight. You won't have to worry about submission. So it'll kind of lean a little towards Connor in that regards. But Nate would gladly stand up a box. He's got one of his own coming up against Jorge Masvidal. So, yeah, Mike Perry, you mentioned he made bank, man. He led the card with $600,000 in earnings. And Thiago Alves got paid good, $200,000 for him there.
Yeah, I mean, with the whole Nate Diaz and Mike Perry, I think it's possible. This isn't the first event that he's been to. He shows up quite frequently, I would say, and a lot of UFC guys. Volkanovski has gone, Izzy has gone, Connor, obviously, like you mentioned, he's part ownership now in BKFC. So I think a lot of people like the sport. It's just if you really want to get in there with the King of Violence. He even did mention. It was a little funny after the fight. You mentioned something about Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis about having them rematch with the hydration clause, and then he goes, or they could both step in the circle square with me, and I'll fight them both at the same time. and I don't put it past them.
That's a dangerous man. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him either.
Now, you mentioned Conor McGregor. He announces that McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now co-owner of BKFC, believes in Dave Feltman. Dave Feltman, a lot of people didn't even want to speak to him, said, this would flop on his face. Well, now people are talking. Conor's involved in it now, the biggest star in MMA history. So thoughts on this moving forward, and do you think it's good for the whole company that Conor's involved?
Yeah, fantastic, progress with the company. Like I said, they're getting close to doing 12 live events a year. They already got about 4 or 5 announced for the upcoming, like we talked about the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Knucklemania 4 in Los Angeles. Man, the stars you spoke of. Mario Lopez was the, the not the play-by, but he was like the, like the color guy. He was interviewing guys. It was just fantastic. I really think the production value was also, it shouldn't have been better than what the PFL has to offer, but it was, bro. I got to say. So, yeah, they were at the Peacock Theater out there in LA. I got Conor getting involved, Fubo TV, they're on Triller. So before they were restricted to just their app, and now you're going to see more and more broadcasts, want to sign them up. I think we're getting more accustomed to the violence of it. And that could speak to a society as a whole, because, at one point we were scared to even have UFC events. New York State Athletic Commission banned it entirely, even though New Jersey was the first to make it legalized. So we'll just see more and more acceptance as the sport grows, and more faces that come a part of it, like Conor McGregor.
Yeah, 100%. I do think it's good. I think it's good for the growth of the company as well. And like you said, it's just going to get bigger. So can't wait till it comes out east. Got to head to event because I think the atmosphere is just insane in the building. But yeah, I get the main event right, 1-0. My big boy Ben Rothwell gets the TKO as well. It's unfortunate how it ended, but he's a man of the people. You got to respect Big Ben Rothwell.
Yeah, he definitely is a man of the people. 3-0. He's found his footing in this organization as well, Big Ben Rothwell.
He might get a title shot after this.
Bro, he's dangerous, bro. And he'll have to fight Mick Terrell because in the co-main, he looked good. I'll be honest with you. Lorenzo Hunt, he looked undersized. You know, I hate to say it. I know he's going to blame the elbow, but he got dropped, man. That uppercut
before the elbow, yeah,
that uppercut was clean in the clinch, and it felt like he was getting tagged in the body and stuff. I just feel like he was outmatched. And I'm a big Juggernaut Hunt fan, but Mick Terrell just looked in his element in that ring. So yeah, I think Mick Terrell in the co-main of his slot looked good, and he's gonna have to fight Ben Rothwell next. That's the match to make, and you could put that on anywhere they decide. I think they spoke about Vegas, so if they can get a fight night in Vegas, a pay-per-view in Vegas, that would be a fight to make. It could be a main event even, I would say. And like we spoke about, you said something overseas, maybe in Europe, maybe England. Yeah, they already have fight nights going on there. Let's get Mick Terrell, Ben Rothwell. You could put it as a main event, or obviously if it's Mike Perry and Darren Till, that should be the main event because they're going to sell a lot more.
Yeah, Terrell Rothwell is the fight to make. I know people that are questioning with the elbow, but like you said, he was dropped before that. Don't want to question it too much. He goes afterwards. He goes, I know Dave Farrell wants people to put on a performance. He goes, I'm sorry, but he goes, I'll wait for everybody after the fight and I'll take a picture with everyone. I go, this guy's a man of the people.
Yeah,
man.
that's so sweet.
And he's a pioneer of the organization. He was one of the first guys in there too.
Bro, let alone the organization MMA. You're talking Ben Rothwell, right? Ben Rothwell, my boy, was one of the first big MMA guys. Like, you know, we're talking about almost a 30-year career now, like 94, like when he was like 17, 18 years old. You know, the thread I made back in the day about him, and he even responded. Shout out Big Ben Rothwell. He's a legend.
Oh yeah, if he's listening, we'd love to have you on. I mean, the guy's a man of the people, and you could tell he really loves this shit. He loves training for it, and when he gets in there, he kind of feels like a kid. He
feels young again.
Yeah,
say, bro, he feels like youthful and rejuvenated getting in there. So
you could tell. So I love it. I'm rooting for Ben Rothwell. I was kind of disappointed you were going the other way.
I know. I bit myself. I kind of went against it there. It was just, you know, I regret it now.
Overall, how did you do it?
I did 1-3. I did not do good. Okay. You know, I looked into. I think it's paralysis by overanalysis. That's my end. You know, a lot of the people that I was going with my heart, I was like, nah, I think I'm going too hard here, and it turns out my heart was right in this occasion. Yeah. Because did you see the fights prior? Like a lot of wacky finishes. Like I'll go as far back as Crystal Pittman. She should be getting the, you know, Ferreira fight next, the championship fight next for 135 for bare knuckle. Julian Lane, another like shoulder or elbow break or something along those lines. So he got a dub there. He was a dog, live dog. And then Alfredo Angulo, a light heavyweight champion, came over to fight Jeremiah Riggs. And I'm telling you, if you didn't see it, did you catch that?
I know. I only saw the Ben Rothwell and Mike Perry fight.
Jeremiah Riggs was putting it on Alfredo Angulo and like did not reciprocate a single punch and like was gonna get dropped. And literally on the last punch he threw, Alfredo Angulo caught him and knocked Jeremiah Riggs out. So we have 6 consecutive first round knockouts in Knuckle Mania 4. So I think in my eyes, it was a successful event covered with Connor. And it you know, the results speak for themselves. It was a success for the company.
100% it delivered. The crowd was electric. I'm sure the numbers that didn't come out yet, but I'm sure it did well. The coverage was good, like you said. I didn't expect it to be better than PFL, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, it was more entertaining than PFL on some nights. But it delivered. We definitely had to lead the show with it, and Mike Perry was the headliner of the weekend.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars getting paid out. I mean, they got money, man. They got a lot of sponsorships, and now with Connor, I think, like you said, more eyes, more money for these fighters. So
sky's the limit for BKFC. I know we are fans, and I think just day by day, the viewership and fanship is just going to continue to grow. So shout out Knucklemania, shout out Mike Perry for having a hell of a weekend. But a close second is Alex Perez. What a knockout. Wow. Jumps into the top 5, gets the performance of the night bonus, and he knocks Matus Nikolai out in the second round, 2 minutes into the second, 2 minutes and 16 seconds into the second round.
What's so messed up is that we talked about it before the show come Friday. We said, yo, Alex Perez is live. Like how good he looked against Muhammad Mokaev. Like, I think, you know, we argued how he may have outstruck Mokaev, but for sure he was handling the grappling exchanges to his fullest extent. He gave Makayev, which is that's his, his go-to is trying to take you down and take your back and stuff. He just was denying it, dropping those hips. Anytime Makayev shot for a takedown, he was just stopping it right there. So we said it. We went against, I guess, our gut. This was that weekend. We got to kind of balance the mind and the heart in this. So we kind of learned something this weekend from there. It's a lesson. It's never a loss, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Alex Perez, man, good for him. I think he's had one main event prior. It was like a pay-per-view. He got a pay-per-view main event against Deiveson Figueiredo back in the day, if you don't remember. I think I remember that. So shout out for him stepping in a short notice and getting this main event. And he's a top 5 flyweight, bro. I mean, that exchange to put Nicolau out, it was impressive. I know you could say Nicolau's chin is kind of going.
It's still gone.
It's still young. You hate to see him take a shot like that, but that fist was coming. That left hook, another left hook.
Yeah, left hook was the highlight of the weekend.
But to be honest with you, the left hook throughout sports, all like combat sports, boxing. We saw it with Ryan Garcia, kickboxing. We see Alex Pereira transition to the UFC. Alex Perez getting a knockout in the mixed martial arts. I mean, that left hook is an absolute viable weapon for any aspect of combat sports.
Yeah, it was insane, for having all the fights that were canceled or, not coming through, for him to come up short notice and now jump all the way into the top 5 has to be just a massive weight lifted off your shoulders for Alex Perez. I'm happy for him. Like you said, I think that was the only way they were going to get in. I saw so many people cash with plus 420 Alex Perez via knockout. I think that was extremely live. Plus 410 or 420 was beautiful. Just read the board wrong.
You just flopped them, right? You just put Alex at 5 and Nicolau drops to 8. You just flop them.
Yeah, I would say so. 6 Manel Cap, 7 Makayev. Yeah, I would just flop him exactly.
Nicolau does have a win over Manel Cap, though. Do you just push Alex Perez in there and didn't drop the 2? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you saw even Manel Cap even comment something after the win. He goes, Alex Perez is the man with the fire emojis. Matus Nicolai had only what he deserved. He ran from the first fight, but the knockout was chasing him. Dead man.
My boy, I don't know if you should be talking though. Like you're not making weight, pulling out of a couple fights himself. I like Manel Cap. He's still one of my.
That's one of your favorite fighters. Yeah,
100%. Because I like the way he has the mic ability, and obviously he brings it in the fights too. But I guess you got to know when to pump the brakes a little bit, and this might be a spot. Now that's the fight to make, to be honest with you. Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Cap, because if he doesn't make this weight yet again, Manel Cap, he's going to have to be forced to 135. So
my thing is, you would still rebook that fight even if you're worried about Matheus Nicolai's chin, because if Alex Perez is knocking him out, I feel like Manel Cap could do the same.
Yeah, but I think – Manel Cap, I don't know how long it's going to take him to get back, right? And Nicolau is going to need a couple months to get back as well. So timing could match up, and Cap wants that win back. I think the organization, the UFC, is going to want him to get that fight back so that he can be considered a viable option for the title at 125. Because right now, as it stands, Alex Perez is more live than Makayev or Cap, and I had those two as the guys that could win the belt. And whoever had Steve Erceg to possibly win the flyweight championship is going to be live this weekend.
Now, what do you do with Alex Perez moving forward? I know Kai Kara France still doesn't have a fight. Amir Albazi is still recovering. Brandon Moreno is stepping away for the time being, kind of pulling an Izzy. And then Brandon Royval. What do you do here?
Man, he jumped up. I don't know. Do you think he would have to kind of, I hate to say gatekeep, but kind of hold that position and maybe fight back? I mean, because we have the guy, Tatsuro Taira. Who is he stepping in to fight again? You mentioned it last week.
Joseph Van.
Yeah, Joshua Van.
Van.
I mean, Van's looking to get ranked from that fight. So, I mean, either one of those guys come out victorious. You might have Alex Perez have to fight back and defend his spot at the top 5. Those could be 2 top 5 fighters, to be honest with you, with Josh Van's body of work and Taira's body of work. So, I mean, he could have to fight back. I hate to say it, because Brandon Moreno stepping away. Amir Albazi's still recovering. Same thing with Kai Kara France. It's a little bit tough. I would hate to see.
He doesn't get a title shot, though, right after that performance.
No, he doesn't. No, I don't think so. And that's unfortunate. But no, I I don't think that's the case. And here's something that, and you have a really good champion with Pantoja. He's going to have to defend it against Alive, like I said, Steve Ursig. But I've heard something about them trying to make the 165 and then move 175. So there'd be no longer a 70-pound weight class. What I heard is they wanted to keep 8 belts, to keep it the octagon, the 8, and they'd be removing the 125 like Dana's wishes from back in the day. And I don't like that, because I think there's a whole plethora of guys that are too small for 135. You'd be forcing all of them to go up to 135, but that's something that was like rumored. So I don't know if you heard that they were introducing the 165-pound belt, trying to get Conor to have it, and cut out the 125-pound weight class because of if you look statistically, I think it showed that the flyweight division is the division with the most missed weights statistically, like on a ratio and stuff. So percentage-wise. So I don't know if you saw that, but I just thought that was a controversial rumor.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That would be very unfortunate because I might be in the minority here, but I actually like the flyweight division.
Yeah,
I think
me
it's
too.
exciting. I love the little guys flying around.
Speed
No pun
kills.
intended. Yeah, speed, power. It's never a boring fight, in my opinion. I think it's very technical. And yeah, I really guess I didn't notice all about the missed weights. I knew about obviously Manel Cap, but other than that, I really didn't know too many guys missing weight. But yeah, I hope that's not the case, because I love the flyweight division. I think it's honestly, a very competitive division.
You could introduce the other weight class without hurting others, So I don't know why. I think sometimes less is more, but not in this case. I think more would be more.
You were right with the co-main event. Bogdan Guskov, what a knockout! Ryan Spam, he's another guy. I have to start fading. I mean, he looked good in the first, wobbled him,
chokes a little, bro,
and then he just
chokes it away.
Yeah, he chokes it away. He's not big time at all. Has all the talent, has the athletic ability, but just can't put it together. And this is the biggest win for Guskov. He's top 11 now.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a huge fight for him. Yeah, I think Ryan Spann kind of had in the bag when he had his back in the first, and had taken him down even in the second, and he just let him get up and start hurting him, and just landing those shots, bro. Those shots hurt from Guskov on the when Ryan Spann was on the bottom, and I was like, he's out. Like we talked about, I was like, he's taking I think Dom Cruz, right? Finally got the name right. Shout out Dom Reyes, because we always mess it up. But he was taking shot after shot. I was like, bro, he's done. Like, he's out. And Dom Cruz was like, 1, 2, counted up 12 consecutive follow-up shots after he was already pretty much, dazed and confused on the bottom. So, yeah, biggest win for Bogdan Guskov's career. And shout out Charlie Arnold for pronouncing the names properly. She stepped in for Joe Martinez, filling under the weather and being a little, frogged. But yeah, she did a great job and pronounced his name great, and he got the win. I came at the right time.
First female ever to announce a fight, and she did an amazing job, I thought. She said she was shaking. She said she was nervous, but I think just watching it live and seeing all the feedback on Twitter, everyone thought she did amazing. I thought she did as well. So shout out her. Yeah. On the fly too, having to go and do that. I mean,
we need someone who can do it.
Yeah, and and I don't know if it would be different if it was like in a live crowd, like in a big arena, but it was at the Apex where it was probably like a few hundred people there. But like, I don't know if it would be different for her, but she's a professional. I thought she knocked it out of the park. He also got a performance of the night for him. Unanimous decision win for Karine Silva. She beats Ariane de Silva.
Lipski.
It's de Silva now.
They changed it officially.
Yeah. So, unanimous decision where that was one of the fights I finally got right, but I thought she did enough for all 3 rounds. It was the takedowns. It was consistent. She had the pressure for all 3 rounds, and she deserved to win.
Yeah, I wanted to play her straight up on the money line. 150 was playable. She's her nickname is the killer, bro. She had a lot of first round consecutive finishes from her. So, Ariane Lipski, she's game, but we saw that she has gotten caught in the first round as well. So that's why I just wanted to play her straight up. I didn't want to take the chance like I did in the fight prior where I got burned on for taking the first round win. So glad I just took Karine Silva straight up. But I bet you there was some plus value on the decision with her because she looked good.
Yeah, she definitely looked good. She'll move up 1 spot to number 12 now in that flyweight division. What do you want to see next for Karine Silva? You got Tracy Cortez looking at 11, Viviana Araujo at 10, Amanda Ribas at 9. And then you got fucking killers like Natalia Silva.
Yeah.
So what do you
I
want
mean,
to
that's
see
an
next?
exciting fight. I don't think they fought, right? Natalia Silva and Karine Silva have not fought.
No, they
but
have not.
I mean, that's a fight for the fans, to be real with you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much damage Karine Silva took, but for something like that, man, maybe like international fight. I hate that it might be a quick turnaround, too quick of a turnaround, but that's the type of fight that you put on a card like that, and will get a lot of fans' attention, and it's exciting women's display. So I like that matchup, but I don't think we get it because I think they're two stars in the making that they can kind of keep separated and have them meet up for number one contender fight or a title.
I think maybe Amanda Ribas, Viviana Araujo, or Tracy Cortez and maybe not International Fight Week, but maybe a Sphere appearance.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe you get a little break as well. Come back, fight in the States. Same thing in Las Vegas.
Especially Tracy Cortez.
Yeah, Mexican fighter. You want there to be her to fight on Mexican Independence Day. So she was at the last. I think that's actually the last time we saw her. Was UFC Mexico last year.
A year apart.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but shout out Karine Silva, big win for her. Another performance of the night. Gervonta Diniz knockout. He didn't get the first round, Joe, but he gets it in the second round.
Yeah, man, he's an explosive dude, and that's why I said I took the chance with him getting in the first round. It was chalk. It was chalk for him all around to get the finish here. I do think the UFC has to cut Austin Lane. I called it when he had the eye poke issue with one of the Taffer brothers. I forget exactly who, but those brothers, they come fight for each other every day. So it's like, who are you? You're Justin? Or are you Junior? I mean, come on. But yeah, Austin Lane, I think after that type of knockout loss, you got to cut him and have him kind of recollect himself and see if he can fight in the lower promotions to work himself back to the UFC. But Gervonta Diniz, I think an undefeated fighter, Brazilian Muay Thai guy. Yeah, I mean, looking up for this cat.
Another left hand as well. Another left hand. But yeah, I agree on Austin Lane real quick. I think they need to cut him. He has no chin, and I'm sorry, just football players in general, they don't do well in MMA.
No, I'm trying to think who was like the most successful besides probably Brock Lesnar, but
Lesnar, but yeah, he wasn't really a football player.
Yeah. He was just a freak athlete to be able to do anything.
But there was no fight of the night last night, but what I thought should have been fight of the night, and I don't want to say it was the last 10 seconds because there was a lot more to it, but David Onama and Jonathan Pierce was the best fight of the night. I thought David Onama got the unanimous decision win. Even though it was unanimous, I did think it was very close. I thought all 3 rounds were very close, but both things can be true at once. It could be a good fight, and it could also be a close fight as well. So David Onama did win.
Did you see the tweets going around? They're like, when you think Dana White's still giving out $300,000 bonuses?
Yeah, because it had shades of Justin and Max the last 10 seconds. When they heard they started swinging. I loved it. But no, I honestly, I thought both fighters are going to improve and learn a lot from this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, they did bring it, though. They brought it to each other in that one. I think we argued that was going to be fight of the night. So we're good at calling this. Can't wait for those props to drop for us. Along with the weight cutting, we can also say which fight is going to be fight of the night.
Joe, we have breaking news. Dan Hardy just followed me back on.
What a guy.
What a guy.
The outlaw.
The outlaw. I mean, Veronica Hardy, too. Wife's getting up there. She's good in the UFC as well.
Looking great with
Now we just need him to follow you on the show and get him on.
How we doing? I would love to interview Dan Hardy. He's the man, dude.
And unfortunately, I think we were speaking to Chin earlier with Matus Nikolai. I think the same thing could be said for our buddy Tim Neems. Unfortunately, Medic, he got the knockout. Couldn't have been in late in the second.
He's a beast, bro. He's never gone the distance. He gets finishes in all his fights. His kind of flaw is and gets to the ground. He gives his back up a little bit. So he's got 2 submission losses there, but he's a problem on the feet, dude. And I should have sided with the 10-year. The 10-year age gap is massive in this sport. If you're 10 years younger than your opponent, you're more likely to win. I think about 70% of the time. So there's only a 30% chance that you win as the older fighter. And we just love Dirty Bird. Tim Means is looking to have a resurgence in his late career. But he fought an absolute savage in the doctor, Uros Medic.
Medic gets the performance of the night. That's the only guy that got it. Him, Dinez, Guskov, and Alex Perez, all performance of the night. Outside of that, Victor Henry huge knockout late in the third round. Austin Hubbard gets a very, very close unanimous decision win. I know a lot of people didn't think
all 29, 28s.
All 29-28 times 3. I thought he did enough. I could honestly, I didn't know after the third round. I could have saw them give it to either of them, but I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to Austin Hubbard, and I wouldn't have been mad if they gave it to Michel. So they gave it to Austin Hubbard. I'm glad though. You know, he's been in the UFC, had to fight his way back. The whole story behind him. It's a feel-good moment. I'm rooting for Austin Hubbard.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, tough alum, Dana White Contender Series. You know, you're kind of started from the bottom. You know,
exactly.
We're here. So
John Jones's teammate Dontel Mays over there, Winston Jack. He winds up getting the win. Very close.
He looks a lot bigger, and Kyle Machado fighting at middleweight, working himself up to heavyweight. You know, he was a little undersized, but yeah, it's your job. You know, you're a professional. You do what you have to. It doesn't matter if the guy's a little smaller than you. Dontel Mays looked better, and I think he's improving. You know, he's a little older in the age, but I think still he could definitely keep improving.
Joe, what happened to your Peruvian? Goku loses, and the biggest underdog on the card on short notice, Chris Padilla gets the submission win 4 minutes into the first round.
I just gotta have no official plays when I see my boys. I just can't do it because I get burnt or it's a too emotional of a pick. So like even if I win, I'm like, oh, that was a ride. You know what I mean? So coming off Dana White Contender Series, he looked good. Goku on top. You know, I liked him coming in, but I think we were absolutely sleeping on Chris Padilla. Biggest dog in the card, and bro, first round sub like that.
Wow. I know. Thinking back, I know hindsight is 2020, but it was worth a shot now.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Leon Nang, 0-4 now in the UFC. We were talking about cutting Austin Lang. If he deserves to be cut, she needs to be gone too. It's so up and down. She's 0-4 in the UFC and just
not looked good either. Not competitive either.
I don't understand the game plan going into fights. I truly don't.
Maybe there is none. You know, they devise one. I think that, you know, there's always that with the corner and, you know, who's in your corner. But man, I just think her IQ is not there. Like, you know, sometimes I guess the emotions get the best of you. And then when you start falling behind, you just kind of you're just not there. You're not present. You're not in the moment. And when you're thinking for a way out, that's normally what happens. You find it.
Yeah, so very unfortunate night, but overall, not the worst night. We go 2-4 on the night UFC, so 3-4 altogether with Knucklemania.
Oh, not bad, bro.
Joe, how'd you do?
I did 3-4 for UFC Vegas 91. A lot of the plus money though hit. You know, the Onama. You know what I mean? Like that was a good play. Plus 145, and Guskov at plus 160 was good money. And then Karini Silva, like I said, was playable. But yeah, Nicolau should have went with our hearts there when we talked about it. Burnt with the knees. Tim Means was worth a flyer, but ow. And you know, Figlak, like you said, could have gone either way. So that wasn't too bad of a loss going 3-4.
No, not too bad. We got a big card here. The King of Rio is back. UFC 301 coming down this weekend. So looking to bounce back here.
Did you hear Verdict is going to be announcing the first ever red belt? I think it might be me. Nah.
No, what does that mean? I'm not too familiar with
it's just basically the experience points that you have. I've been a part of Verdict since the pandemic, since pre-pandemic. So like 2019. So I've been in the game for quite a while. I think they started like 2017, 2018 anyhow. So there's going to be whoever jumped on the ship from the early beginning is probably going to get that red belt. So shout out whoever does. I shouted them out on X and IG because, you know, I'm a big fan of them. And we got leagues going with those guys. And it'd be nice to get that red belt after a while, even if I'm not the first. You know, I know I'm not going to be the first, but I'm an OG of it. You know, I have to say.
looking to get that red belt, kid. I love to see it. Before we move along here to get to MMA news and some bets, quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market. Hands down. Is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Monday Night Raw. It doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with the Artisanal Blanco Tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid. Just a few bits and bops before we get up on out of here. Brian Barberina, he's revealed on Instagram and on Twitter that him and the UFC had not been able to re-sign a UFC contract. He kind of left the door open, said maybe there'll be a return, but he's not going to fight for any other promotion. Do you want to see the UFC re-sign him?
He's an exciting fighter, you know. We always thought and always seen him fight at a weight class that was a little higher than what we thought he could cut to, you know. But I guess that just wasn't him. That wasn't his style, you know. He's a farm boy. He lives on a farm, you know. He's always taking care of the animals, tending to his field, his crop, and man, he just lives that. You know what I mean? Like Bam Bam is one of your favorite fighters' favorite fighter, to be honest with you, because if you look back, regardless if we had criticized him, you know, taking some takedowns in every one of his fights, the fact is he brings it every one of his fights. So you know what you're getting when you see Brian Barberina in a fight. And shout out him. And if it was like a retirement right now, I know people were saying like, hey, if you want to see him, if nobody's willing to fight Mike Perry, you want to see Brian Barberina fight Mike Perry, he would be a guy to do so. I know you said that he's a UFC fighter just like Nate Diaz is, but now we're seeing him fight in boxing. So hey, it might not be too far off. If nobody wants to step up, pay the man $250,000 to $500,000, and I'm sure he'd step up and fight Mike Perry. He'd do that on a Wednesday.
Money talks,
That's
bullshit walks. So yeah, I think if they'd send him enough money, I think he'd step in there with Platinum. Oh, that'd be a fight I fucking watch. Ricky Simone, we got a fight for International Fight Week. Ricky Simone will take on Vinicius Oliveira. June 29th, 303. Do you like this fight for Ricky Simone?
Vinicius Oliveira is a dog. Yeah, he's good. I'm trying to think where we last seen him. It was like he had that like flying knee knockout, I think. He was like that crazy, like it wasn't
was
really
it against Terrence McKinney, or was that one of the Bonfim brothers?
That's one of the Bonfim brothers. No, this was something else. No, but he threw that flying knee. I know he threw, I just don't know who it was against, but he threw that flying knee, and he hurt him bad, bro. It sounded loud. It was crazy. So that's a tough fight for Ricky Simone, and a big step of competition for Oliveira. It is.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm glad they're putting Ricky Simone on a big fight card as well, 303 in Las Vegas. And then last but certainly not least, June 15th, UFC Vegas 93, Miles Johns will take on Douglas Silva de Andrade. You like this fight for de Andrade?
I mean, I like the fight for Miles Johns. He's one of my favorite fighters on the roster as well. But it's a tough dude. We saw him in Charlotte when he fought Cody Stamann.
Yep.
And man, he put it on Cody Stamann, bro. He landed a ton of body shots. And Douglas Silva de Andrade, he's a beast, bro. So yeah, it's a big step up in competition. I love Miles Johns, though. That's why I had a bet on him the last two fights we've seen him in fight nights, because I'd be betting with my heart when I see him out there. So yeah, I would love to see him get a victory over there. But, you know, of course, as always, may the best man win. That's going to be a dog fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a dog fight. I love the matchup, too, the pairing between these two, because they're both dogs. But question before I head it to you, and then you could take it for 10 seconds left. You mentioned on the show now, a couple guys are your favorite fighters. How many favorite fighters do you actually have?
All of them. No. No, man, for some reason, I like the lighter guys, you know, the guys that are in lower weight classes. It's just the speed, man. We talked about, you can't teach speed. Speed kills. I mean, it's probably from my love of Jose Reyes on the Mets back in the day. You know what I mean? Just the fastest human being alive, Ichiro Suzuki, you know, just to get off from the left side of the plate. So just a mixture of all the sports coming into one, you know, and now following the greatest sport on the planet in mixed martial arts.
Let's fucking go, Joe. 10 seconds left. What do you got for the people?
We got Risen 46, y'all, and it's going to be technically tomorrow, but it will be what is tonight at 3 a.m. Man, it's going to be an awesome card. You know, you got the likes of Victor Kolsanik on there, Makoto Shinryu, and the main event, Chichiro Suzuki is taking on Masanori Kanehara, and I'm going to go with the favorite here. -150, I got to go with Chichiro Suzuki. Yeah, Masanori Kanehara, he's got a couple wins in a row. He's competing at quintets, you know, a couple wins and losses with the grappling tournaments there. But, you know, my boy Suzuki's on a tear. You know, when it comes to striking and stuff like that, if you don't remember for Rizin 2, he knocked out Patricio Pitbull in the first round. So let's look at it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive first round wins with, dominant ground and pound, with submissions, with right straights, right hooks, knees in the clinch. I mean, this dude's on an absolute tear, fighting Muay Thai, fighting kickboxing, and I got to go with Suzuki. I know it's a mixed martial arts fight and he's headlining the card, but it seems that he's able to get it done anywhere. So give me the minus 150 for Chichiro Suzuki in Rizin 46.
I love it. I'm looking at the odds right now, and I think minus 150 is very playable. Now, when you're betting Rizin and other promotions, are you doing the same thing like you're doing last week for the UFC, where it's going to a minus 170, but you think it's the right side? Are you playing it to a minus 170 in Rizin, or you're kind of staying away for more chalk?
No, I would side with the chalk. It hurts. I like plus money. I'm one of those where I see it and I get very attracted to it. So sometimes I got to stay away from the odds and just see how the fight for what it is. And then whatever side I think is going to be the right, I'm going to go and then look at the odds. And if it's a $2 favorite, I'm just willing to lay that extra unit. I don't talk units all too much, but in this instance, if you're, asking me what to do, I think I would lay the chalk and lay the extra unit to play it.
Suzuki minus 150, Rizin going down Monday night.
It's tonight, technically 3 a.m. So be ready. It says it's Monday, but I'm going to be up. I'm going to be up.
Yeah, I'm going to be up. Let's fucking go, Joe. Any last words before we get up out of here? Rio this weekend, 301.
Yeah, I'm going to have, not only do I have the 10 seconds, I have taken a week off, if you haven't noticed. So I had Rizin 46 for 10 seconds today, which I'll be watching. I'm going to have 10 seconds for one fight night as well come Friday. So we got a fight night at 8:00 p.m. for Amazon Prime there. Prime Video. Can't wait. Huge weekend coming. Huge weekend.
Can't fucking wait. Huge weekend coming. Episode 100's coming. 301's coming. Oh, it's all fucking coming here on Axe Kick Picks. Everyone, 42 people listening live. Shout out you guys. Comment below who you guys like for UFC 301. All that good stuff. That's going to do it for this Monday edition of Axe Kick Picks. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Joey, I am D-Rock. Make sure you guys go follow our social media, X and Instagram at Axe Kick Picks. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, give us a review. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Good luck on your wagers this weekend. Be safe, be well. And we will see you guys on Monday. Peace.